Sport24 editor Garen Lamley and chief writer Rob Howing are with us in studio this morning to give us a recap of some of the sporting results from the weekend. Gents, good morning. Thank you very much for coming in.
Hello.
As suspected, we're going to focus mainly on the Super Rugby and, of course, the Proteas' recent one-day series and the upcoming Test series against Australia. Rob, I'm going to start with you. First full round of Super 15. Back to 15 teams, which makes a lot of spectators happy. Some lopsided results still. Shame the poor Jaguares seem to, sort of picked up where they left off last year. But what did you make of the South African results? A disappointing final, sort of last-minute defeat for the Stormers, but wins for the Lions and for the Bulls, Mitch's Bulls.
Yeah, I think you're right, Nick. The big story, I think the Bulls winning. That's one I didn't tip. It ruined my otherwise clean sweep, what looked like being a clean sweep on Super Brew. And I hadn't backed the Bulls, and I think that was actually the common sense take. If you looked at that Hurricane side on paper, you would have thought that, yes, the Bulls were going to sort of start a slow reinvention under John Mitchell, but I didn't expect it to sort of yield an immediate sort of dividend. Magnificent result, actually. It was very close, but just for the Bulls, that young, emerging, changing Bulls team, adapting to life under John Mitchell, and what an outstanding result. I think they just about deserved it. They closed the game out pretty decently. Yes, the Hurricanes are the kind of side who'll always come back at you at some point, but it ended up being, I think it was 3 tries all. Yeah. And enough elements of the Bulls' play, especially with the sort of upskilling, the collective upskilling of their players was for me the big sort of eye-opener. That all of their players are learning to sort of do little offloads, keep the ball alive, go through phases more patiently, all a result of John Mitchell's sort of shrewd, international experience as a head coach. And you could see it really paying off. Lots of individuals who did well. The 2 locks, Loert de Jager and Ergier Snyman, were superb on the day. I mean, they're tall timber, and they sort of walked tall. The way they were loping around in open play, getting involved in the line-outs, cleaning out. And very decent from the Bulls. But of course that tees up the derby against the Lions quite well this weekend. The Lions, as you say, come off a thumping of the Jaguares. I think they ran in 7 tries or something. Very good Lions performance without even hitting their straps properly. Their execution was a bit sloppy at times, and yet they basically cleaned out the Argentinian national side, as we all know they are. By 20 points, so that can't be bad, and that sets up a decent high-felt derby this weekend. I suppose the less said about the Stormers, the better. A match they really choked in. They had it there for the taking. It wasn't a great match, lots of naivety on both sides, but they really had it there for the taking, and their execution and just their mental unraveling in the last 10 minutes was pretty disturbing. They made some terrible mistakes that cost them a win and then a draw, which looked like at least becoming some sort of second prize, and of course they butchered it to the death with that late try in the corner. So lots for the Stormers to think about, unfortunately. I can't see them as being close to title material again this year.